Good to
Hello.
see you. Thank you very much for taking some time to speak to me today. And I hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving with your family.
I wouldn't say it was lovely, but I had it.
Oh wow! What was your favorite part? There was plenty of food, I guess.
I don't remember any of it. I was drunk.
Oh well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, New Empire Volume 2 is coming out this Friday.
Yeah.
So far, you released 4 tracks.
Okay.
And how was the response of the fans so far?
I don't know. I never pay attention.
You don't pay attention?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
That's my manager's job.
Okay. So of the 4 who, what was the feeling releasing it during this crazy times?
Yeah. No, I mean, no, I think it's good. I mean, I don't really spend a lot of time on the internet, which is really the only way you find those things out. So I purposely kind of stay away from the internet because I like to live in the real world.
Mhm.
But I haven't heard anything bad, so that's good.
That's a good sign, for sure, for sure. So back in February, I believe it was on Valentine's Day, you released New Empire Volume 1. Oh, sorry for
Yeah.
there. So the sound of Volume 1 was very fresh and very creative, but still Hollywood Undead. But you still changed certain bits and bobs here and there. What made you go kind of explore the new ways on the musical road?
I mean, I think for us, it's just so we don't get bored with the process. You know, when you're in a band for long enough, we've been in a band for a pretty long time. You have to keep it interesting for yourself and stuff. So we always try new things in the studio, experiment with new sounds. Some of it's good, some of it's not. But I think it more than anything is just kind of for us and our sanity, so that way we can, after all these years, keep being interested, I guess, in the process of making music and stuff. So we always kind of try and walk the line where we don't want to change as a band. We still want to make Hollywood Undead records, but so that each one progressively is somewhat different. I think that's always the goal, and it keeps us entertained.
Yeah, it's like growing up within the band, right? Sort of.
Yeah, I mean, our interests are so much different than they were 15 years ago. So, the goal is always going to be to try and write something new and something that is engaging for us and for everybody else.
I see. So where you draw your inspirations from, what gets you inspired? Is it different kinds of genre or certain artists? Is it art itself?
No, I mean, yeah, when we're in the studio, I don't really listen to other music because it'll kind of, it messes with your process for me anyway. I don't really listen to other bands while we're recording. I think more than anything, I just draw on life experience and things that happen. And there's always, from my experience, enough to write about without having to really look too hard for inspiration. Life's pretty fucked up sometimes, so there's plenty of subject matter, especially this year.
Yeah.
So we don't need to dig too deep to find things to talk about.
That's very, very true. Which brings me back to Volume 2. One of the songs you released was Coming Home.
Yeah.
It's a great song with great sing-along potential. And I was wondering what place you were thinking of writing this, because usually you spend lots of times on the road and one would think the road is your home, but considering 2020, how it's going.
Well, it's funny because we wrote Coming Home before the COVID thing even was being discussed or talked about. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, for sure, the road is one of my homes, and I think that's true for everybody in any band. But I'm married, I have children, and I've been finding as I've gotten older that I want to stay at home more. So, it's tough. You're on the road for 8 months of the year and you don't get to see the people you care about. So I think being in a band is a lot easier when you're 22 than 35 or whatever, so things change in your personal life. So before, I mean, they could be like, hey, you're going to go on tour for 4 months. Oh, okay. I didn't care. But now, it's tougher, and having that, we're trying to have relationships that are important to you at home when you're on tour all the time can become more difficult. So it was just something we wanted to discuss in a song, I guess. Mm-hmm. And, it's very true for a lot of people too. I mean, it depends what you consider your home, but, people always miss somebody. And I think that's really the message of the song is, that feeling.
That's true. That's very true. Like there's a word in Portuguese which is saudade, and it's one of those untranslatable words because saudade is something like missing something, someone, a feeling, a smell. It could be anything.
Oh, I like that. That's nice. Salvaggi?
Saudade.
So, okay, Salvaggi. I hope I didn't butcher that too bad, but I like that. That's pretty. I
Yeah.
like it.
So you teamed up with Jacoby from Papa Roach and Spencer from Ice Nine Kills on your song Heart of a Champion, which is an absolute banger. I really enjoyed the music video on this one. Can you tell us a bit more about it? Like, how was it working all together? How did you come together? Like, what was the—
Well, Papa Roach, we've known those dudes, I mean, for a long time now. Just from touring and, so that was kind of natural. We always wanted to work with Jacoby on something, but finding the right time can be difficult a lot because they're on tour all the time. We're on tour all the time. Mm-hmm. So the chances of being in the studio at the same time. So you're always working on trying to do it. And honestly, I don't know if it would have happened without the COVID thing. We did a ton of collabs on these records because we had so much time in the studio. So we were like, hey, let's work with other people. All we can really do right now is make music, and we're in the studio. So we had the opportunity it's really about trying to make a positive thing out of a negative situation. So no one's touring, everybody's working. So we started being able to get a lot more people to work with on tracks and stuff and have more, some different inputs from places because everybody was at home at the same time. And, we're all musicians, so we get bored. So we have to do something. And the only thing we can do is go into the studio. So that happened. And then Ice Nine, they're not a new band by any stretch, but I think they started kind of taking off in the past couple of years, and I was just a big fan. And we did a tour with Ice Nine, and we liked all the guys, and Spencer's a good friend. So we all kind of put our heads together and made it work. So it was a good opportunity, like I said, that came from a pretty negative situation.
Mm-hmm. Like, were you all together, like working together, or was everyone separately in their studio?
Well, we were on tour in Europe before. We were in Europe when COVID had already been talked about before the tour. We were making jokes like, "Oh, we're gonna die," because no one knew what it was yet. There was just like the videos coming out from China and stuff. So it was more of like you don't realize at that point how serious the whole situation is going to be. And as we're in Europe, we're on tour for about a month. It kept getting worse and worse and worse. So we were like, whoa, shit, this might actually be something serious. Because the media is always trying to scare everybody. So I just thought it was another bullshit story. And then you start seeing it happen in real time. So we were on tour with Ice Nine and Papa Roach during this whole thing. And so, of course, one by one, the countries started shutting down gatherings of more than 500 people. So we started canceling dates and canceling more dates. So the end of the tour, we were going day to day. We didn't know if we were going to play the next day. Each night we would go to sleep and not know if we were going to be at the airport at the venue. So it's pretty interesting. So we were on tour together. So when we got home, and that's when shit really was like, whoa, this is for real. People are actually getting sick and people are dying, bad things are happening. We realized, dude, I talked to our booking agent. He's like, you guys aren't going to be on tour probably till 2022. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I haven't not been on tour for that ever, since I was a kid. So I realized, we're going to have a year and a half to make music. So I just hit up the guys and said, hey, let's start working together. You're not touring, I'm not touring. So, we were really just trying to make the best of a horrible situation. And that's how everything happened, but it was crazy.
I believe that. Like, I think you tell, like, being in Europe and not knowing, like, hey, are we playing a show? Are we going home? And even then, I think you, like, were in the position, like, can we actually go fucking home because they're closing the borders?
Well, yeah, that last day, that was pretty crazy because we were in Offenbach. So we went to Frankfurt to fly out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When we got there, it was the last day. They said it was the last day. I think they gave another day, but at that point, they were saying this is the last day to get out. Obviously, everybody's got families. They got to get home to their kids. They don't want to get stuck in another country for God knows how long.
Yeah, sure.
And the airport was crazy. They had military to keep the crowds under control. And I was like, what the fuck? It's like out of a movie.
Yeah, it was like a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, exactly. It really was. And then they shut all the airports down in the US, so you can only fly into certain airports. we had heard they were going to do all these tests, and then I'm scared, I don't want to get my family sick. I didn't know if, like, no one knew that it didn't affect children yet. There was a lot of unknown. So when it starts getting real, you're like, yo, it was a scary situation for everybody, but we made it home. And I've been home ever since.
Well, at least you're safe and sane and healthy, and I guess we all have now a great story to tell our grandchildren. Like,
yeah, that I thought about that once, because I remember my grandpa would always tell me stories about things that had happened when he was young.
mm-hmm.
And I would be like, whatever, okay, old man, I didn't care. This is gonna be us when we're old, telling our grandkids, oh, you don't understand COVID. They're gonna be like,
wash your hands, boy.
Yeah. So it is interesting. And it's, the last time this happened, you're talking, I think it's about roughly 100 years ago. So it doesn't happen often, and it's been crazy for everybody. And I hope some good comes from it, because it's a crazy situation.
That's true. Well, coming back to your record, you have another amazing collaboration on this album with our boy Ghøstkid.
Yeah.
We spoke already with him about his album, and you featured each other on your albums.
Yeah.
So how was it working with each other? What was your favorite thing about it?
Well, honestly, because I didn't know who he was. I knew who Eskimo Callboy was,
mm-hmm.
which was his old band. And they were looking for a feature for the song Idol that we did. And they said, oh, this guy Ghøstkid. And I was like, well, he doesn't have a lot of material. I don't know, like, how to listen to it. So he sent in a couple that I listened, and I was like, well, he's really good. So I said, yeah, let's put him on. So he did the song with Hollywood Undead, and I really, really liked what he did. And so he said, would you want to do the song This Isn't Hollywood with me? And I said, well, send me the song. And the kid's really talented. He's really good. I love his sound. It reminds me of like, what was that fucking band? I forget now. Blindside. It's got this really cool vibe, but it's a lot more modern, and there's more synth. But I always loved Blindside when I was a kid. So oh, this is really, really cool. The guy's got a great voice. He has good hooks and stuff. So I was like, yeah, fucking let's do it. So obviously I had to record it out here in California, and then, he's in Germany. So we kind of did everything, it was a little bit of a pain in the ass, but we got it done, and I was really happy I did it, because I really like the song, and I love his videos. His visuals are really, really cool. Mm-hmm. He's a real talented kid. He's got a bright future.
Of course he has. Yeah, he was all like, he talked with us, and he was had nothing. He was just very happy to work with you, and was like very excited. And for him, the experience was, I believe, as great as it was for you.
Yeah, he's a really nice dude. I actually, because we're doing a live stream, and he sent me a Ghøstkid hoodie, so I'm going to wear it in the live stream.
Like the bleach?
Yes, mm-hmm. I love the hoodie.
He
sent me my daughter, he sent me a smaller one and a bigger one. I gave the small one to my daughter. She wears it every day. So it was very nice of Ghøstkid.
Of course, yeah. Like, you need to make a family picture. You wearing the bleached hoodie.
That's kind of gay.
That hoodie is fire.
No, I almost asked him how he made them, because I want more like this. Yeah, but I never wear band merch, except that was one where I was like, dude, I'll wear this any day. So It's really cool. It was a nice gift and thoughtful on his part. So it was cool.
Yeah, nice. So, like, what's your favorite song of Volume 2 and why? Thinking of all of them.
Idol's probably my favorite song off of it.
But which version of it? There are 3.
Well, they're all the versions with us on it are the same. We just have different people. So they're all equal. Probably Tech 9, because I don't speak German or Russian, but it still sounds cool. But all of them did a really, really good job. I would say Idol's probably my favorite, just because the energy. I love the guitar breaks, and like the subject matter is that's probably my favorite. But there's another song that hasn't come out yet that's a close second, called Monsters, that we did with a guy by the name of Killstation. And he's one of my favorite artists, period, right now. So that one I'm excited to get out there, and that was one that we haven't released yet. So I would say those 2, but Coming Home, it was always one of my favorites. We have one called Coming Through the Stereo with this guy Hyro the Hero. So we did a lot, like I said, a lot of clubs. So I have a lot of songs that haven't come out yet that I'm really excited about.
We
But
are.
Idol and Monsters probably.
Yeah. I'm excited. So we're living in this crazy world state right now. Everything is out of the usual, and like releasing records and songs brings new obstacles. And many bands actually pushed back their release dates. Would you say you took a risk in releasing Vol.2 in 2020?
I mean, yeah, it's not going to do as well. That's just the bottom line. You have to accept it because you can't tour on it. There's no interviews. There's a lot, except for Zoom interview like this. But when we tour, you're doing a lot more press. So it definitely hurts it, but we're already writing other music. Why would we hold on to it to get more money or whatever? It's like, who cares? So I'd rather have it out and then release it so we can start writing the next album. So we're already kind of working on the skeletons for new stuff, and we'll record that probably in the spring of next year. And so we're already kind of moved on to the next album. We're excited to get it out. I didn't want to wait for it. Sometimes the labels don't like that because, of course, they're a business. They want to make they want to maximize earnings. But for me, I just like getting music out and sharing it with people. That's what I like to do. So I just wanted to let it go.
Yeah, that's interesting because for me, I'm no musician, but I could imagine that if you're constantly not able to tour, not have this another creative outlet, you get kind of drained some sorts of, because you have so many things but you can't put it out, so it's kind of stuck in there half between producing it and making it but not being able to. It's I don't know, cooking. You make such great recipes and you cook something but you have no one to share it with.
Right. No, and that really is true. My favorite part of being in a band is releasing music because you finally get you have it loaded up inside of you for so long. And a lot of the times when you record a record, you don't actually put it out obviously right away. It takes months and months and months for the label to do the job. You got to do all the videos, you have to do all the visuals. So you have all this release, you're just waiting. And then finally when it's out, it's okay. And yeah, I mean, exactly you want to share it with the world because you're proud of it. So that was a big part of it too. And then we're kind of one of those bands that's always recording. We don't take breaks really. So if we just, you keep waiting, you're already on doing something else. And then if I listen to a song too much, especially if we're mixing it, I start to get sick of it and I start to lose my own vision of it. And it kind of kills the buzz of putting out the new music because I've already heard it 1,000 times. So I like to, if it were up to me, the day we finished recording a song, we would just put it out, which is probably going to happen in the near future because everything is streaming now. There's no real hard record sales. So why even wait at all? Why even wait to record a whole record? Why don't you just put music out whenever you write it? And so I think the world's going to kind of shift more in that direction. But for now, they still got to do the whole records. But I think you'll see a big movement towards just doing songs. Here's a song. Here's another song. Maybe you release one every couple of weeks instead of, hey, here's 10 songs all at once. And I think the music industry is going to kind of move in that direction.
Yeah, because we have to adapt to the situation because no one really knows when we can go back to normal, if we can go back to normal.
Yeah, we will. I mean, we'll go back to normal. And you already see shifts happening where, I think, but it's going to be a while because, I think people are still uncomfortable going to environments with 1,000 people or 10,000 people. But you'll start seeing a return to normal, I think, next summer, maybe. But yeah, I mean, by then you're talking over a year of people being cooped up in their house. And I think music's more important in a situation like this because it gives people an emotional outlet. So, it's not just important for bands, but really important for people who I've always used music to get through life. It's a big part of my life. I'm sure it is for you too, obviously being a music journalist. So if people stop putting out music, I think people are already going crazy. They would just go even crazier without new music. So it's good for everybody, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree on that. Speaking of streaming, I saw you have a sneaky little Hollywood Undead house party on the 18th.
Yeah. That was fun. It's a good time. And we've never, the live stream thing a few months ago, I was like, I don't want to do that. That's lame. But the more I started thinking about it, I was like, dude, we're not going to be able to play a show for probably another year. Sorry about this.
No worries. TV.
Wait. The host says actually. Oh no, can you see me?
I can see you very fine.
Okay, sorry, someone called me. Some asshole. I said I'm in an interview now. But I started to realize, I was like, we really may not play a show for another year. So then I was like, I thought, I'll wait till we could tour again. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to not play with the band for another year. So we just said, you know what, let's do it. Let's make it as cool as we can. We put a lot of creative thought into it. Mm-hmm. Jacoby's in it. We got Spencer in it. We got all our friends there. And we did a lot of special stuff for it. So I'm very excited. And it just being able to play again is like, thank God, you know, because it's I play music all the time, but it's alone in my room.
Yeah, of course. It sounds very exciting, and that was going to be my question. Like, what can the fans expect from this little house party?
I don't know what to say to that. It's just crazy. We did a lot of wacky stuff. I think a lot of it I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm not supposed to like give whatever. But it's just a really cool environment. We built this big set for it, and there's a lot of cool moments in it. But I'm supposed to not discuss it, from what I understand.
No spoilers.
And I don't want my manager calling me crying like a bitch.
So I'm very excited. I will make sure to tune in, because now you make me like curious.
Yeah, if it sucks, just ask for a refund.
I'll do it. So I think I covered everything our team was wanting to ask. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. It was lovely to speak with you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I'm glad you seem like you're doing pretty good. So
yeah,
hopefully all this will be behind us soon.
Trying my best to stay sane.
Yeah, just smoke a bowl.
Yeah, or take the puppy for a walk. Let's see. Or both of it.
Smoke a bowl and take the puppy for a walk. Then you get the two greatest parts of the whole world.
That sounds like an idea.
Okay. All right. Well, it's nice to talk to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye.